Another big topic at council recently has been the new design standards for the conservation district in town. And, I think for people who maybe don't have a planning background or don't come to town council meetings or planning commission meetings, that's a little confusing. So maybe I'd just love to talk more about, what the conservation district is, what that means, and why that is important to our town.
Well, the Historic Conservation District in Breckenridge really contributes to the identity in Breckenridge. When people come into our town, they can see our mining history, and it's like experiencing history. And it definitely lends a value to the town. One of the things that contributed to us looking at this time is we've had some ongoing historic surveys, and the most recent one let us know that some of our properties were going to be downgraded, and so they're no longer contributing to the historic district in Breckenridge. And that was a surprise to us and definitely made the town just take a closer look at what's going on here.
Yeah, and so what was affecting that? It was people adding additions, or?
Yes, exactly. The additions that were being added to the original historic structure were no longer qualifying those buildings. And it's important that, I think, to the council, that we're not saying, oh yeah, we have buildings that look maybe somewhat kind of like something that was historic. I think the authenticity is important too, so that when our guests who are history seekers or want to know a little bit more about this town before the ski area, they want to see something that's real. And I think that is kind of what's driving our decisions.
Yeah, and that's what everybody talks about, is the authenticity and the background of Breckenridge, and so that is really important. And, we did have some people who came to council and had some opinions, so what would you guys maybe characterize some of the counterpoints as, or the public reaction to this?
Sure, I think historical, the word, you can interpret different ways. And I think that was definitely one or two people spoke to that it is what we make it, essentially. That who is this person coming in from Denver saying what our historical landmarks or our historical structures should look like, and that it's essentially in the eye of the beholder. Like it's something that isn't necessarily measurable like you can with other things.
Yeah. And Kelly, I know you've done work with kind of planning and historic structures, and what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I just think what's most interesting and important is that we're not inconsistent with any clear standard or regulation. So it's not like there was something that said a percentage and we've been granting variances, or something that goes above and beyond. It's really left open to interpretation. And so although we're consistent with state and federal regulations, as far as in writing, what I guess when the historians come out and look at the building, they're saying, yeah, this is consistent to the letter of the law, but it's not really in keeping with with the size of the structure, and that the addition is so much bigger, it totally dwarfs the original, and that's just not really keeping the historic district authentic. And so I think there was some confusion just in that interpretation.
So in an effort to make sure that we kind of protect this conservation district, we did put a moratorium on permits. So what does that mean, and how long does it last?
So there are some permits still that, if they've already been approved by either council or, if they're undergoing review with the town, then those ones will continue to be evaluated, even if they are in the historic district. But any new permits or permit requests, there is a moratorium that I think we have 6 months, right, Erin?
That's correct, yeah. 6 months.
And so during that time, we are having a working group that just to help decide, like, what does this mean to the town? What does it mean to the district? And what should we be doing next?
Yeah, and it'll definitely take some time. So we will update people when that comes next.